Okay, state your name and the office you're running for.
I'm Bo French, and I'm running for House District 99.
But will you briefly describe your qualifications for the office sought?
I'm a citizen who lives in the district.
Okay. What is the proper role of government?
Stay out of my life.
All right.
Do you need to expand on that? I mean, look, I believe in our founding principles, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. And to me, that means a very low interaction with government. I lean more toward the libertarian side in the modern incarnation. That's kind of the movement conservative folks have taken the reins there, and that's where I find myself politically.
Fair enough. When and for what reason should state or local government be allowed to seize private property under eminent domain?
I don't think they ever should be able to do that under eminent domain. There's a number of issues going on right now. Even friends of mine who are involved in that, and I just think it's a problem all the way around.
Okay.
We have a right to property, so when government's taking our property, that's a problem.
Is Texas in need of civil asset forfeiture reform?
Yeah, that's not an issue. That's not an area that I know a lot about. I've read a couple articles, and I know that folks on my side believe that that is the case. Frankly, I just don't know enough. I haven't read enough on that issue to give you an answer. I think the answer is yes, but I don't know that much about it.
Okay. What are the top three issues in your campaign?
The top three issues, so knocking on doors, I think the thing that resonates most with people are property taxes. And I know, in my campaign, the guy that I'm running against says he's a big tax cutter, but when he's had the opportunity to put a cap on state spending, for instance, that would have a dramatic effect on future tax revenue, or the need for future tax revenue, I should say, he hasn't been a champion of that, and so that's a big one that really, most Republican primary voters are older people, retired, fixed income, so rising property taxes really affects them. So that's a huge issue for them, because that's where they feel it right, directly out of their wallets. Illegal immigration is another huge one. I think that's nationwide, but especially here in Texas. I'm a rancher. I've grown up, along the border of Texas on ranches. I've seen firsthand illegal immigration in all of its forms, and I've been involved in a number of initiatives to try to limit illegal immigration, apprehend illegal immigrants, and so I'm personally just passionate about that one. And again, the response at the door, that's a big one that really drives people crazy. The sanctuary cities, giving taxpayer funds to subsidizing illegal immigrants, things like that. So that's another big one. And then the third issue I would say is just the big one is a broader category, and it's kind of the values catch-all, which to me include life, marriage, religious freedom, all of those issues. Kind of, I'll just lump them into values because there's really sort of a tie there.
Okay. What do you believe are the top three things that make you more qualified than your opponent?
I'm actually conservative, and I'm actually conservative.
Okay. If you could please describe your political experience, as well as experience as, for example, election volunteer, staffer, office holder, stuff like that.
Yeah, I never was politically involved from a public service standpoint ever in my life. I just turned 48. I did run, last election cycle, obviously, but before that, I had never been involved, other than just, voting for people who I liked and thought matched what how I felt politically. But then I had the opportunity to run against Charlie Geren last cycle because I did a little more research as to what was going on in the state and found him to be someone I felt like I could run against and potentially beat, and replace someone who's the very far left of the Republican Party with someone who's on the far right of the Republican Party.
Okay. Do you have anything else you want to tell the voters about your campaign or what you want to accomplish?
Well, I think the main thing I announced very late in this process. The last election election I announced 11 months before election day. And so I had, I knocked on 7,000 doors. I had a lot of time to raise a lot of money. I announced around Thanksgiving this time. So, basically, just over 3.5 months out from election day. So it's a much shorter fuse. It's really a sprint to the finish. I'm trying to knock on as many doors as I can, but, candidly, getting to 3,000 doors will be a challenge because it's such a short time fuse. Raising money is a challenge. But I am seeing such a different response this time at the door than I saw last time. 75% of the people I talked to were supporting me. Only 4% say they're supporting Charlie. The remainder are undecided. So I assume those people are probably for Charlie. But that difference, those numbers were like 50% said they were supporting him last time. So I've seen a big increase in that. I think the ugliness of the last campaign, people remember that, the ugliness that happened that has been in the news recently with the false allegations made against me and my family and the attacks on my children. I think that really has turned a lot of people off on him, people who normally had supported him. I've seen lots of people who I remember knocking on the door last time and they were supporters of Charlie Gerens last time who said no, that those tactics are so disgusting that they're in fact, they've taken another look at where he's voted and they've decided to support me. So it's really encouraging. I'm getting much more support from more people than I did last time. So I think we have a really good chance this time.
Do you have any support or supporters or endorsements you want to talk about that you're proud of?
Well, I think, and like last time, sort of all the major big statewide conservative groups endorsed my campaign. They've done the same again this time around. Of course, we're still in that process, filling out questionnaires and interviews and things like that. That's why I'm here today. But it's exciting that those people are all rallying around my campaign once again. So I'm excited to have the support of the conservatives in Texas.
Well, thank you for coming in today. We appreciate it.
You bet. It's my pleasure.